is 818-691. Now, wait a minute. I think it's 691. Christ's sake. It's new. Yes, I was right. 818-691-3959. And I'll talk about whatever you want, and I'll be very honest. And we can talk about acting, politics, the space race. What else? Men and women, relationships. What else? We can talk about anything you want. Doesn't mean I'll answer it, but we can talk about it. As you know, we're here at my comedy club, Jon Lovitz Comedy Club and Podcast Theater in Universal City Walk in Los Angeles. And we have other shows. If you go on the Jon Lovitz Vodcast Network, one's called FYI Sports. It's with Robert Fick and Dimitri Young, who are professional Major League Baseball players. And they talk all about baseball. They're great. I was just on their show earlier. And we have a show called Talking Marijuana, which is about the legalization of medical marijuana. And you get politicians and doctors. And in California, there was a political measure called Measure D. And these people passed that. And what else? And then there's my show, Lovitz or Leavitz, which is I interview famous celebrities. I've had T. Carrere in the studio, Steve-O. On stage, I've had like Gene Simmons, Gary Busey live on the stage. And this Saturday, I'm actually at 8 o'clock at the club, 8 p.m., I'm having a very special guest, Lorraine Newman, who is in the original cast of Saturday Night Live. And when I was in the Groundlings Theater, Lorraine Newman befriended me, and she ended up recommending me to Lorne Michaels. And then I also got a movie with Charles Grodin, and he recommended me. So Charles Grodin and Lorraine Newman, I mean, they really jump-started my career, recommended me to Lorne. And without them, I wouldn't be here now. So I'm very grateful that she's coming to the show. Also, I said you can tweet me some questions. Let's see if anyone's tweeted any questions. No. What the hell? Oh, here's one. Oh, I'm sorry. I do have tweet questions. Okay. Oh. Oh my gosh. There's a lot of questions. Do we have any calls yet? We do? Oh, we have a call. So I'm going to do that and tweet questions. Hello? Oh, we're getting ready. Well, while we get the call, let's see. From Christopher tweeted, who is your top 3 favorite all-time comedians and or comedy writers? I'd have to say, like Woody Allen. He's where I became a comedian. And off the top of my head, I'm thinking stand-up Don Rickles. And I'm also thinking Jonathan Winters, who just passed away. And I remember Red Skelton was on TV. They were great. As far as writers, there's so many great writers. One of my favorites, though, is Andy Breckman. And Andy used to write on Letterman, used to write sketches on Saturday Night Live. He wrote the movie Rat Race, and he created the show Monk. And I don't know if you know this, most comedy writers, right? They're not. They're very smart and very. But they're very in their head. They're not really funny people. Andy Breckman is one of the few comedy writers that's also very funny, and it's very rare. So that's that question. Here's Captain Awesome. What is your favorite color? Blue rhymes with Jew. I answered that. Do I like gladiator movies? Depends. Anyway, we have a call right now, line 1. Hi, Steve. You're on with me, Jon Lovitz, from Long Beach. I'm waiting. Well, Steve, hang on a second, because I can't hear anything. This is the first time we've done this, so there might be some... Let me see. Let me find another question on Twitter. Oh, from my friend Aaron Westbrook. Oh, hello. I have a question. Did you eat all $30 worth of candy I bought you the other day? No, Aaron, I didn't eat it all. I took a bite, though. I'm trying to lose weight. Aaron Westbrook, by the way, she's on this TV show I do, Mr. Box Office, which is a syndication. But Aaron, get this, Aaron, who's only been here 3 years, got, a part of Mr. Box Office's series in syndication. She just got cast in Glee. And she has a very large recurring role on the show Glee. Huge break for Aaron. So congratulations to Aaron. Ruben Martinez says, what is this thing on my back? Well, I don't, it's probably a tumor. You might want to get it removed. Do we have any calls coming in? Apparently we do, but I can't hear anything. Well, if the headphones don't work, I'll have to take them off and listen to it on speaker. Captain Awesome again. Boxers brief or commando? Well, in the shower, I like to wear boxers. Jason Hill. City Slickers 3, please. Well, the second one did about 45 million at the box office. The first one did like 125 million, so I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm glad you watched them. Watch the second one. Wayne V says, when will I host Saturday Night Live? And the answer to that is, I don't think I'll be hosting unless my career heats up again. I hosted it in 1997. But that's been it. But, it's all right. By the way, when I was on the show, maybe I'd be in like 3 to 5 sketches every show, which is a lot. But of course, everybody dreams of, hosting that show. And I finally got to host it. I was in like every sketch, dress rehearsal, 12 sketches. It was too much. It's much harder hosting than I realized. So be careful for what you wish for. How would I have ended Rat Race? That is an excellent question. And I told Jerry Zucker this when I did the movie Rat Race. I did not like the ending. I said, why don't you end it that Whoopi Goldberg, we lose the money, and then Whoopi to the billionaires, and Whoopi Goldberg says, well, I made a bet on behalf of all of us that we would lose. And then we end up making billions, and then we send all of them on a race. Steve, are you there on the line?
Sorry about that, John. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm great. Well, thank you so much for calling.
Oh, my pleasure. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
I've always wondered this. As a big fan, what is the most challenging role you've ever taken on?
Let's see. Well, I'll tell you, the first thing is the hardest thing to me in acting, and I've done Broadway plays, I've done tons of plays in college, I've done live TV, sitcoms, everything. Film acting is the biggest challenge because they shoot it out of order, and everything you do in a movie, the camera picks up everything. So everything you do, the audience is reading into it. And so it's a very, very subtle art. And you could have a scene where you're just walking down the street, and then you walk up to a door and knock on a door. You could do 5 little things in that part, in just that shot. That means something because the audience reads into everything. But I think the movie Happiness, I had a short scene in the beginning, and a girl is breaking up with me, and the scene was very funny and very sad at the same time. And the emotions of this guy change where he's really upset, then he breaks down and cries, then he stops, then he's friendly, and then he gets angry, and then he gets very vindictive. And so it was a great scene written by Todd Solondz, and also I had to do that scene. It had to just be myself, as opposed to doing you're doing a character, but it was more coming from myself, and I had to keep crying for like 12 hours. So I had to keep thinking of things that would make you upset enough to cry. Because you really have to cry, and
so it's like your dog dying for 12 hours straight.
Yeah, but then that didn't work. So then I had to think of something worse, and then something else worse, and then like the worst thing. My father passed away, and I pictured him sticking his head out and waving to me, going, "Hi, John," and I'm like, "Oh, I mean, it was just like it was exhausting. And after that scene, I was depressed for 2 weeks because when you cry even though it's acting, you're still physically crying for 12 hours. So your body, you feel it.
Huh.
Where are you calling from? Hello?
Hello.
Oh, where are you calling from anyway?
Long Beach.
Oh, great. Now, are you watching this on Ustream right now?
I am.
Oh, how's it coming
It's a
across?
great feed.
Oh, okay, look. What am I doing?
Wait, I walked away from my computer for a second. Hang on one sec.
You looking?
You put me on the spot, John. I walked away from my computer to
Oh.
talk to you here.
Are you walking back?
Give me one sec.
Well, while Steve walks back to his computer, let me see if there's some other questions. Let's see. I answered that. What's your favorite color? Oh, High School High is your favorite movie I'm in. That's from R.J. Salazar. Well, thank you. Oh, Alex, how would you handle a hostage negotiation? I think I would lie to the kidnapper guy, and I would also, though, I would get him what he wants, and then once he got outside, I'd have him arrested. That's what I would do. Like if he wants a plane, here's your plane, and then the pilot's an FBI guy and shoots him in the head. Well, anyway, Steve, thank you for calling. We have another call. Alex, you're on with me on Anything Goes on Jon Lovitz, the Vodcast Network. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. You sound like me.
Oh, wow. I've gotten that before, actually. That's not the first time people have said that.
Oh, it isn't? And I'm saying it, and I am me.
Wow. Well, thank you for that.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Studio City, actually.
Get out.
Yeah.
Are you going to
right
come to
around
the
corner?
You should come to the club this Saturday at 8 o'clock. I'm interviewing Lorraine Newman from the original cast of Saturday Night Live. And if you come after 7, if you valet park, I think it's like $3. Or no, $7. I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah, we have great food here and everything. But you'd have fun. What did you want to ask me?
Yeah. I'll definitely check that out.
Oh, good.
Well, I was just wondering if, in all of your experience, and now that you're a little bit older, if there's anything you could have changed in your career path or done anything differently,
what would I have done?
What things might you have changed?
Well, hindsight's 20/20. You never know how things are going to work out. I left Saturday Night Live to do this movie, Mom and Dad Save the World. And I didn't want to leave Saturday Night Live, but I would have had to miss 2 shows. And Lorne Michaels had a policy we can't miss shows, so I had to make a choice. So I said, you know what, I've been there 5 years. This is a great part. I want to do it. So I left to do that movie. And it came out 2 years later for a week, and no one saw it. So in hindsight, I wish I could have stayed on the show and done the movie, but I couldn't. So if I knew that was going to be the result, I'd have stayed. But then who knows what would have happened? You just don't know. Every movie and every script I've ever read, pretty much I wanted to do because I thought it was really good and it was funny and I could do well in it. And movies, they're just tough. And as an actor, you have no control over the editing or what scenes they live in. You have no control over the movie. Just you act in it, and then the director picks when they're going to cut to you and everything. So they're very tough to make. And every movie that's ever made, they try to make a great movie. They really do. But it's just a very difficult thing to do. Thanks for calling, Alex. Hey, we're on line. You're welcome. Line 3, we have Dave on the phone. How are you, Dave?
Hey, John, how's it going?
Great. Where are you calling from?
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for calling.
Well, I was just calling to ask, you've done a lot of great movies. Maybe not the best one you've done, but the one you had the most fun on.
Oh, well, 3 come to mind. One was, I did a movie, Mr. Destiny. Actually, another, and it was, I became really good friends with Courtney Cox and Hart Bachner, and the director, the writer and the director, Jim Cruikshank, and James Orr. They were great, and Rene Russo, J.O. Sanders, Jim Belushi. We all got along great. That was a lot of fun. My stepmother's an alien. I mean, I played Dan Aykroyd's brother. Dan Aykroyd's he was so great to me, greatest guy ever. Kim Basinger's in it. I got to kiss her. That was fun. And there was a 13-year-old girl in that show who's now a big star, Allison Hannigan, who's on How I Met Your Mother. She was like 13 or 14 years old at the time. That movie, and Richard Benjamin directed that movie was a lot of fun. And City Slickers 2 was great too, with Billy Crystal and Daniel Stern and Jack Palance. That was a real thrill. Fantastic.
Yeah,
and we had one scene when we're out in Moab, Utah, and there's a horse stampede, and it felt like you're in a movie. Like most movies, when they shoot them, you kind of feel like you're rehearsing a play and then they're shooting it. But there's some scenes where, as they're shooting it, you get this heightened sense, and you feel like you're in a movie. You have the same feeling as when you watch a movie. And in that stampede scene, that happened, and when there's a stampede, and I'm in the back of a truck, and the horse gets away. I'm on a wagon with donkeys, and they start running, and Billy's chasing me. I'm going, help, help, and he's yelling, and there's at least 300 horses. We're outside, down below these cliffs of the Colorado River, and that felt like it was out of a Western, like a John Wayne movie. It was an amazing feeling. But those are my favorites. But thanks for calling. All right. Next on line we have James. How are you, James?
Hi, I'm great. How are you, John?
I'm great. Where are you calling from?
North Hollywood.
I think your voice sounds very familiar.
Yes, I just wanted to ask you, what do you feel about Mexicans working for you?
Interesting question. As long as they're gay Mexicans. For example, we have and I don't care if you're gay, but you try to diversify. Like, what was her name? Ellen Pompeo, the actress. Apparently, she watched the Emmys, and she said, I saw this dance number when there's only white people in the number. Where were the version of, the population that makes up the country in America, in Los Angeles? There was no African Americans. There was no, Asian dancers. There was no on and on. So in my club, I try to hire people. I said, let's find, we need someone to do the sound. How about a gay Mexican? Lo and behold, James Franco showed up, and he does the sound for our show. Wait a minute, James, is this you? James, you're in North Hollywood. You should come to the club Saturday. I'm doing a show. You gonna show up?
I'll be there. Of course.
All right. Well, thank you.
I have a serious question for you. That was a legitimate question.
All right. I guess you could ask me at the club, but you want to ask me now.
I guess dream project or movie, or whether it's movie, television, whatever. What would be your dream project?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind, of course, is porno. But after that, let's see. The movie, I was wondering the movie Marty that Patty Chayefsky wrote that starred Ernest Borgnine won an Oscar doing it. So, why would you do it again? And Rod Steiger won an Emmy doing it on TV. But I always thought that was a great part I could play. But James, we have an actual real call, so we have to let you go. Hopefully you're watching this on Ustream.
I am.
By the way, you can. I don't know what that means.
I'm not wearing pants, but I am watching.
Hold on. The producer of my show is saying something, and he's behind a sound glass that's soundproof, and I have headphones on, and yet he expects me to hear him. Hold on. This will be entertaining for all of you. What? Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Jon Lovitz Vodcast, Network.com. And I think we have a woman calling, Leanne. Leanne, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, there you are.
Hi, John.
Well, hello, Leanne. Are you watching this on
today?
Ustream? I'm good. Are you watching this on Ustream?
Yes, I am.
Okay, what am I doing right now?
Well, I couldn't tell the audience.
You're watching on Ustream? Or you're listening?
I'm listening.
Oh, I thought you were watching. Where are you calling from?
Pocatello, Idaho.
Idaho? How do you like that?
Oh, it's very boring.
Is it winter there yet?
No, it's never anything here. It's just flatland and boring.
Well, then why are you there?
Because somebody chained me to a fence and I can't get loose.
Are you in love?
No.
No? Well, then why don't you move?
Well, I could. Do you have room in your house for me?
No.
Okay, so I have a question for you, John.
Yes.
Is the character Tommy Flanagan based on somebody you know, or is it based on Jon Lovitz?
Well, neither. I came up with it. One was there's a movie called The Thin Man with William Powell and Myrna
I love
Loy.
that movie.
And if you watch it, there's a character in that movie, and he says, yeah, that's the ticket. He was a criminal and they're grilling him. And I said, oh, that'd be fun to play that character. I never made up, yeah, that's the ticket. I got it from that movie and that character. And then I thought, though, it would be funny to do, instead of Alcoholics Anonymous, to do Pathological Liars Anonymous. But it really started with it is partially me. I started with a friend of mine and a girl I liked, and she said, oh, I like a guy with a fat wallet. And I said, oh, well, my dad just, he just had 15 oil wells come in, And then I go, well, I am a pathological liar. And then I met some guy once who was just, had no money. He's like 21, just making up the most ridiculous lies. And I hate lying, but I thought this character would be fun. I came up and I said, what if there was a guy, like say at an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, and that's not funny if you have that problem, but they get up and they say, hey, my name is Bob, I'm an alcoholic, and they tell their story. So wouldn't it be funny if there was Pathological Liars Anonymous and a guy got up and started telling his story, and then I thought, well, then he would just start lying about it, and that's how I came up with it. So even I go, hello, my name is Tommy Flanagan. Well, it is Flanagan, but he can't even say his own name straight.
Because he's lying about it.
Yeah, he's lying, like everything. And if you watch the character, everything I do, it's what you're not supposed to do when you lie. When you lie, you try to get away with it. And I just play the character, I'm stalling, I'm looking around, I'm slurring my words, I'm stumbling, I'm getting caught, but I act like I'm getting away with it. And so I think
it's a perfect character.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, it was such became such a phenomenon. And I did on the second show on Saturday Night Live, I'd auditioned with it. And the first time I did it, if you look on YouTube, go to Johnny Carson, The Tonight Show, and my name, and it'll come up, and you'll see me. And it looks like my son. I weighed about 147 pounds at the time. But that's the first time I did it on TV, and then Saturday Night Live. And the next week, an electrician came up to Lorne Michaels' office and said, hey, that liar thing, that's the funniest thing I've seen in this show in years. So Lorne went, oh. So the next thing Lorne said, why don't you write it, he said to me, with A. Whitney Brown, who's a great comic and on the show. So after that, Whitney and I would write it together, and it just hit. And Lorne, I think I did it at least 13 times that first year. And but I couldn't have done it without Whitney, because I didn't know what to do with the character after the first time. So I really learned how to write jokes from him.
A sitcom or something based on that, or a movie based on that character, because that.
Well, that year I was supposed to do a movie of it the next year, but the whole thing fell apart. It was very disappointing, but that's what happened.
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
Yeah, thank you for calling. Thanks so much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, we have another caller, Teal. How are you?
Fine, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
Good.
Where are you calling from?
St. Louis.
Get out. And are you watching me on Ustream, or are you just listening?
I'm watching it on Ustream.
Oh, really? What am I doing now?
I can't tell, there's an ad.
There's an ad?
Yeah, there's an ad.
Over my face?
Yeah.
Now, I'm waving.
Oh, okay.
Well, how is it in St. Louis? How's the weather?
It's very nice. It's fall now, so.
Oh, what do you do for a living?
I want to be a comedian.
Oh, you do? Have you ever?
Yeah.
What have you done? Anything?
I've done some open mics here and there.
And are you getting laughs?
Yeah.
How much time are you doing?
5-7 minutes.
Well, that's good. That for just starting. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to ask me?
Oh, I just wanted to ask about Phil Hartman.
Okay.
Because in particular one sketch on SNL that you guys said was your favorite to do, One More Mission.
Right.
Yeah, I love that sketch. I have it committed to memory, and
Oh, thank you.
it's very funny, and I was wondering why that was your favorite.
Oh, well, I like old movies from the 40s, and Phil loved them. And actually, when they had the Olympics in Los Angeles in 1984, along with that, they had the Olympics Arts Festival, and they had all these, shows and painting, gallery shows, and all different things in the arts that they funded. And they picked 9 equity waiver theaters and gave them money to do shows. And I was in the Groundlings at the time with Phil. So, I was in their B company, the Sunday company. He was in the main one. So they decided that Phil had a character that was called Chick Hazard, which was like a detective from the 40s, and it was satirizing those movies. So they did a whole show based on that. And so he did that, and I loved old movies. I got to understudy that show for like four times, which really changed my life because Lorraine Newman, that's when she saw me understudying. It was called Chick Hazard Olympic Trials, and I understudied a part, and I went on 4 times. That got me into the Groundlings Theater, and that's when I met Phil, who had recommended me. So he was like, I was just so grateful to him. So he was like, I idolized him, and he was the king of the Groundlings. And we became very close friends, but like brothers. But we'd always go around. He'd always like walk up to me. He goes, just cross that line. And I go, you better wait. I said, how did it go? We would always say that he goes, cross that line. I go, you wish I hadn't. He goes, well, for 2 cents I had to go. Yeah, what would you do for a nickel? And we would always just do that. And then I said to him one day, why not let's write a sketch, with that. And I thought, I kind of came up with the One More Mission, where I was the head of a studio head, and he's, the actor, and he's playing these in World War II movies. He's so caught up in it that he's like gone crazy, and I got to let him go. And anyway, we wrote the sketch together, and he always said it was his favorite sketch, and it was just fun because we always did it, and we're great friends, and we knew the timing of it. So it was, and it was our sense of humor. So that's the main reason we both loved it. But he always said that was his favorite sketch.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Well, good luck in your stand-up career. And remember, do a short. This is I've done stand-up for 10 years now. But Dana Carvey helped me, and he said do a short setup and then a lot of jokes on that setup, as opposed to a long setup and one joke.
Okay.
Yeah, and cut out the fat, get to the jokes quick, and be funny the way you're funny, and talk to the audience, not at them. Because you got that mic right there, so it's like it's like they're a foot away from you, And be yourself, and you'll connect with the audience. But good luck. By the way, you can follow.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for calling. You could follow us, Jon Lovitz Vodcast Network, on Twitter and Facebook. And now we have another call from Eli. How are you?
Hi.
Oh, Ellie, I'm sorry.
No, actually, it is Eli.
Oh, it is Eli.
Boy.
Oh, where are you from? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm calling from my cell phone. It seems to be cutting out. I apologize.
That's all right. What city are you in?
I'm in Chicago.
Get out.
Yeah, and actually, you just performed here, and that was actually what my question was, because I saw you when you were at the Improv. And
in
at the very
Schaumburg?
beginning of your act, you were saying how you always get nervous before you do stand-up. Yet if you hadn't said something, I never would have known. And so I was just wondering, how did you get over your stage fright?
Oh, great question. what happened is I used to do Woody Allen and Lenny Bruce's routines in my college dorm because I saw Take the Money and Run, Woody Allen, when I was 13, his first movie. And that's why I said I want to be a comedian like Woody Allen. And then I saw the movie Lenny with Dustin Hoffman about Lenny Bruce. Went to the record store, got their records, did their routines at my college dorm. But doing it yourself is different. And then after college, I took a workshop, a stand-up workshop that was they were teaching for free at the Comedy Store in 1979, which was the hottest club in the country. The guy teaching it said they're not hiring stand-ups for sitcoms. I didn't realize they weren't hiring him. You know, it was the worst advice ever, but I believed him. Anyway, I get on Saturday Night Live. I'm like 28 years old. I become friends with Dennis Miller, who's a great stand-up, and he says to me, John, I think you could be a stand-up. And he goes, you wouldn't be funny the way I'm funny, but you do your own sense of humor. And like he said, like there's this comic Kevin Meaney, who's a great stand-up. He goes kind of silly, and something like that. But Dennis would bring me to Catch a Rising Star, and I remember the first time I got up, they go, Jon Lovitz. I'm like, yay! I didn't know what I was doing. 5 minutes later, it's like the sound of one hand clapping. And anyway, I would try it over the years. And I would get encouragement. I met Robin Williams, Eddie Murphy, Dana Carvey, Dennis Miller, all the top stand-ups then. They all said, yeah, you could be I'd ask them, could I be a stand-up? They go, yes. But I would get on stage, and my heart would just be, before I got on stage, it would just be pounding. Just thinking about it makes me nervous. Pounding in my chest, you could feel it. So I started doing it I would do it here and there, but never steady. So 10 years ago, I decided I'm going to go for it. And Dana Carvey's great stand-up, one of my best friends. So I said, Dana, what advice do you have for me? I go, how do you get over that fear of getting on stage? Because it was just, it was 20 years later, I finally said, okay, I'll try. And all he said was, he goes, you just got to keep getting up. And eventually it just gets less and less till finally it's not there. And
So do you feel less nervous when you get on stage now?
Oh, God, yes. But I know what I'm doing. I didn't know what I was doing, To me, I think I was nervous. I wasn't sure if it was going to work. And also, you just, as an actor, even doing a play, you have to be prepared, And, it's 10 years later. I've gotten up enough that I know what I'm doing. But on the other hand, if I was doing my act and for like 5 minutes nobody was laughing at anything, I would start getting really nervous again. And it's a fascinating art because you can literally, it's like a one-man show, but you can do anything you want, anything creatively, and it's endless, the things you can do. And but you really need the audience there listening and being part of it. They're a huge part of it, That's why when you have people heckling or drunk, the show doesn't work because you need them listening to what you're saying.
Well, you did a great job because I thought you were hilarious, and I know that you said, you did it the opposite the way that most people do because most people start in stand-up and then they go on to Saturday Night Live.
Right.
But you sound just as polished and as funny as people who've been doing it for 20, 30 years. So
well, I appreciate that. That's a big compliment. Thank you. Well, thanks for coming to the show. I get to go to Wrigley Field, throw out the first pitch, sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," and oh God, it's the guy that hires me, Tony Baldino, who owns the club. He's a great guy, and we've become friends now. So it's always fun to go out there. I'd have moved to Chicago if the weather was the same as in Los Angeles. I think it's a fantastic town.
Yeah, the winters here are brutal.
Yeah, I just don't want to be in that for 5 or 6 months. Well, thank you so much for calling. Are you watching this on Ustream? Oh, you cut her off. All right, well, we're on the phone with Chris.
Hello. Hey.
How are you?
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Edmonton, Canada.
Get out. We're going all over the country and the world. Is it snowing there?
No, it's great that you're doing this kind of thing. I had questions about your acting and stuff, if you got a moment for that.
Yeah, but before I answer, can I ask you a question? How did you hear about me doing this show right now?
I saw it on Facebook that you were live right now.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
So yes, I got it playing through Facebook, which is connected to the Ustream somehow in the feed.
Oh, are you watching this on Ustream right now?
Yeah,
Oh, so you can see me?
I can, but
Okay.
it's slightly delayed.
I'm going to ask you, no one's answered this question yet. What am I doing?
You're gonna what?
What am I doing?
Right now, you're sitting there staring at the screen, and there's oceans behind you, and I'm talking on the Ustream right now.
And that's it? What about now?
You're coughing, and you're saying, "Are you watching this on Ustream?"
Oh, it's a big delay.
So you can see. Yeah, so you can hear. You can
Oh,
hear.
I
don't know if
got you.
can-
Okay, no wonder. I didn't know there was so much of a
You're
delay.
waving. Oh, you were waving when you asked that.
Yes, okay.
Now the delay has come through.
Well, what do you want to talk about?
Oh, I mean, you did obviously really good in acting. Like your comedy is huge, and your acting was just as big, if not bigger. And I'm wondering, what kind of advice would you tell for people trying to get into acting? Would you tell them to go to some coaches or some acting schools instead, or how would they break in?
Oh, well, the first thing I would do is I would start doing plays and see in school, and just see if you enjoy it and have fun doing it. And there's two books. Uta Hagen, great acting teacher, great actress, wrote a book, Respect for Acting, and I would read that. And there's another book called Audition by Michael Shurtleff, and it's about how to audition and get the job. And I would read those books and then ask yourself, does this sound interesting to me? You have to really, I think, to be in acting, you know, you can get into it for whatever reason you want, but the work part of it is are you into, like, you know, trying to figure out why a person does something and then reenacting that? And do you like being in front of people, pretending you're somebody else and performing? And if so, you just have to practice it a lot, you know. But yeah, I would get a good acting teacher. I would learn how to do the stage. I would learn how to act for the camera. I would take improv classes, everything. And they all help. Improv makes you great at auditions. The stage makes you you learn how to tell a story from the beginning to the end and create a character. And then film acting makes you much more real. And there's an art to film acting. It's all acting, but it's different than the stage. And so I would, you know, I kind of had to go out and train myself in everything. I would learn Shakespeare. I did plays in high school as a drama major at UC Irvine for 4 years. Had a William Needles who taught me Shakespeare. Robert Cohen, he wrote a book on acting called Acting Power. I would read that, a great book. And then after, I had a teacher named Tony Barr, and he wrote a book, Acting for the Camera, which is great, and I learned that from him. And then I was at the Groundlings doing improv. So I tried to learn everything so that my plan was, if I start working, which I hoped I did, that I could do everything, so I'd have much more of a chance of getting work in all different areas. And it worked, you know. So that's my advice.
Yeah, it worked really good. You were well prepared before you got your even first opportunity to do something big.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, the thing is, you have to get to the point where you're good enough that I got on the Tonight Show through the Groundlings, and then I got an agent. And then when you're auditioning, you know, you're competing against everybody who's been doing it for years. So you have to beat everybody out. You know, it's very competitive. So you have to really be ready. So when they say, can you, you know, you're auditioning, can you play like this? Can you do drama? Can you do comedy? Can you do plays? Can you do TV? Can you do movies? You got to be trained and ready to go. And so that's what I did. Well, thank you so much for calling. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook. I'm here right now, the Jon Lovitz Vodcast Studio here at the Jon Lovitz Comedy Club and Podcast Theater at Universal City Walk. This Saturday, by the way, we'll be streaming live at 8 o'clock p.m. I have on Lovitz or Leave It's live from the stage, and my guest will be Lorraine Newman. And Lorraine, of course, was in the original cast of Saturday Night Live. She was an original Conehead, played Dan Aykroyd's wife in the sketches and the movies. And she recommended me to Lorne Michaels. She's the best. I love her. So it's going to be very exciting. Find all about, you know, what was Saturday Night Live like when it was created in the beginning. And now I am happy to be talking to Penelope.
Hello, John.
Hello. Where are you calling from?
Tennessee.
Get out.
Nashville.
Well, that's exciting. I was in Nashville once when my cousin went to Vanderbilt, and I got to drive there, and I thought, these are the friendliest people ever.
They are, and the food is fantastic.
I know, I got to go back. It's a great town.
You should. It's fantastic out here.
What do you do there?
I sit on a ranch and enjoy myself.
You sit on... How big is the ranch?
40 acres of fun and happiness.
And you sit on the whole thing at once?
Yep. I'm a large woman.
That's a big butt. Got a 40-acre butt. No, I bet. Well, you're living right. That sounds fantastic. Are you into the music scene in Nashville?
Nope, I raise horses.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, well, you have like that magical life everybody dreams about.
Oh, I know. Never wanted to leave.
And sorry, I got to get a sip of it. Are you listening to us or watching on Ustream or?
Well, yes, I was watching, and then they asked me to mute it. So now I'm watching you, but you're like a step behind.
Yeah, because there's a delay.
So it's like watching a Japanese film.
Yeah, there's a delay. Well, what would you like to talk about?
I actually have a question for you.
Okay.
What was your audition at Juilliard like?
Well, I never went to Juilliard.
Wikipedia is incredibly wrong then.
It says
if
I went to
Juilliard. If you had gone, what would you have done?
It said I went to Juilliard?
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you. You know who went to Juilliard? My cousin, Bob Lovitz. He went to Juilliard right out of high school. I went to the University of California at Irvine.
Nice. And how was that? What were you
But you can ask me a different
drama?
question.
Did you have to audition?
Not at Irvine, no. It was the school was founded in 1965. I went there in 1975, and there was 10,000 students in the whole school, which is very small for a UC school. Now there's 35,000. I mean, it's huge, but it was almost like going to a private school. There was 90 drama students. We were on the quarter system, which is, every 10 weeks it'd be a new quarter. And so 3 quarters a year. They would do, every 10 weeks, they'd do 15 plays. They did 45 plays a year, so you could do as much as you wanted. So I was like 21 plays when I was there. And it was fantastic. And became very close with everybody, all the actors. We were just, great. Everyone was friends, and we'd hang out and have parties and do shows together. And it was a very special time.
That's incredible. Do you ever work with any of them now? Anybody that you went to school with?
No. A lot of them, though, they were all working before me. And they have a big alumni group. And then I'm trying to think, we get a newsletter of who's working. There's the actor Bob Gunton, who's a very big character actor. He was there in the original class in 1965. He went there. Kevin Thompson, who's been a character actor, a lot of movies. He went there. Got a lot of. I'm trying to think who. I don't know, a lot of different people. Mike Sabatino is a friend of mine. He was on Knots Landing, and Lisa Robbins was a friend. She did a lot of shows, and a lot of. But I don't know. You'd have to. A lot of different people went there. A lot of people there are very big, became big college professors, or went into theater across the country. But I don't know everybody that went there, But I met Will Ferrell.
You worked like immediately with, just if there was any that were close that you worked with still.
In college, no. It's just no. I mean, some of them became writers. A lot of people from UC Irvine, though, they're working, but they're not necessarily super, famous, or I don't know who they are, But a lot of them are started their own theaters. It's a big theater school, So in that world, there's a lot of those people. But that's.
Do you ever miss doing live theater?
No, I did it, and I did a play on Broadway, and after like 2 months, I get really bored. And I love doing it in college. I don't know what that is. I love doing stand-up, though. That's live. I love doing that. But the plays, I used to love them in college, and now I can't stand them because you're just saying, I don't know, it's just 8 shows a week and you're saying the same thing over and over. And I did a play on Broadway and you think it'd be great, and it was fun, but after a while you're just like, I just did this. And the person, makeup person, they give you someone to do your makeup and hair, and she said, it's like Groundhog Day. But I did the Groundlings, which was improv and sketches that I wrote and performed my own. That I love doing. Well, thank you for calling. I have to take another call. I'm talking to Denise. And Denise, it says you're from Japan. Is that true?
No, I'm from Denver.
Well, I was close. I was just in Denver.
Yes, you were. How did you enjoy it?
I loved it. Were you there at the shows? I was at the Comedy Works, the Landmark.
Yeah, the Landmark South. No, I wasn't able to go, but I hope that you had a great show.
I did. In fact, I did 4 shows, and 2 of them I got standing ovations.
Oh, fantastic.
Well, you should have been there. Well,
I know.
That's a beautiful club, though, and I love going there. And the woman Kathy owns the club. She's super nice, and it's a. I actually have relatives in Denver, the Millmans, and I don't know if you know them. Do you know Lane and Leonard Millman ever, or Lewis Millman?
I don't.
Oh, fine. Denver's great. Well, I did some jokes about marijuana being legal. I said, you guys are already a mile high. How high do you want to get?
Right. Yeah, that was a big deal out here.
Are you glad that it became legal?
Actually, it doesn't make a difference to me.
Oh, so you don't smoke pot? You don't care either way? I'm just curious what you think.
The job that I have, I'm not able to do that kind of stuff, so I have to stay clean.
What do you do? Are you a police officer?
No, I actually hold a Class A CDL license, so I can drive a big truck.
Oh. How long didn't you have to train to do that?
I did. I did have to train to do that, and I went out over the road for a while, and then I didn't like being over the road, so I came home and found a job locally, and so I've been in the business for probably, I don't know, 9 years or so.
So you're a female trucker. You're a trucker.
I have been a lady trucker, yeah, but I became a supervisor actually within the company that I worked for. So.
Oh, that's nice. What would you like to talk about?
Well, what my question is actually I've recently become totally employable. Speaking of jobs.
Yeah.
And so in a long time ago, in a lifetime away, I used to do theater, and I love theater, and I love the movie and TV industry, and and when I worked in theater, I was on the technical side of it though, because I'm much too shy to be on stage or anything. So I've worked on crews before, and so my question is about: do you have any ideas about how to get onto a crew in the movie or TV industry, possibly out in California?
Well, it's funny you say that. I don't, but my partner in the club, apparently he always brags about his family, because we started IATSE, which is if you look on the back of any set, it's this big stamp that says IATSE, and it looks like a big Maltese cross. And so I'm going to force him to get you into that. But that it's like you said, behind the camera, that's a whole other area. I mean, I would look up IATSE. That's the union that builds the sets and everything. But you'd have to figure out what it is you want to do exactly, and then like if you, I guess on TV or movie, you might have to start interning and building up your hours to get in the union. But that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother field. But I would just start researching it on the internet, look up IATSE, and God, it's
I appreciate
otherwise
that.
I would go in Denver and get involved in theaters. They always need tech people to help out. But you're not going to make a lot of money in a theater doing that, I don't think.
Right. That's why I got out of it.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I
thank you.
needed
Thank you for calling. I appreciate it. I've taken another call, but thank you so much for calling. We're on the line with Ari.
Hey, John. Big fan of you for a long time.
Thanks,
I want
Ari.
to say that before I ask my question.
By the way,
And
you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook, Jon Lovitz Vodcast Network. And Ari, where are you?
Oh,
where are
definitely.
you? Where do you live?
I actually just moved to Hollywood. I'm trying to make it. I'm a young artist.
Right.
And I was wondering.
Well, artist.
I
What
have
do you
a
mean,
two-part
artist?
question.
Like a?
Do you think,
But artist.
as someone just starting out, do you think it's better to start out in improv, like you started in Groundlings, or do you think I should go straight to stand-up?
Well,
And then second part question is, which gets more ladies?
Well, when you say you're an artist, what do you mean? You're an actor?
Oh,
or
like I'm trying to be a performer, an actor, an entertainer, comedian such as yourself.
Well, if you can write and perform your own material, I would try to do everything. I would definitely take an improv class and an acting class. I think Howard Fine is a good teacher. Improv, the Groundlings has a great school. Upright Citizen Brigade. Improv Olympic. I don't know if you want to do comedy. Those are all mostly comedy. But even if you don't want to do comedy, I would take their beginning classes because the improv, at least I was in the Groundlings, you learn a lot. It makes you great at auditions. If you can write and perform your own material, I would start trying to do stand-up. That's a good way to get in the door without having an agent or a manager. But it's very competitive, so I would watch a lot of shows. But that's my advice. But you gotta, try to get in a theater group. Try to do plays. I would try to do everything. Do it all.
I appreciate the advice. It's really good. I guess I'll sign up for some classes.
Yeah. As far as the ladies, I would say probably stand up. Although it hasn't helped me any. But a lot of the stand-ups get laid. Well, thank you for calling. Good luck in your career.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much for watching the show. Now we're talking to Patrick.
Hello. Hey, John.
Patrick. And where are you?
I am in Ventura County.
What are you doing there?
What am I doing there? I'm working my day job at the moment.
Oh, what do you do?
I'm a file clerk in a law firm. That's what I do for money, but with the rest of my time and my energy, I'm an actor.
Oh.
And,
how did you find out about this show right now?
Well, a buddy of mine works for Ustream, and I attend Rob Paulson's Talking Tunes at your comedy
at the
club.
comedy club.
Often.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh, so
And
you're a
so,
file clerk and an actor. Yeah, that's what I had a job in the day, and then I acted before, at night.
Yeah. So I've been a fan of yours ever since Saturday Night Live and
Thank
The
you.
Critic, and recently I've taken some Groundlings classes myself. And
are you enjoying them?
I am. It's difficult and it's an incredible challenge, but I do enjoy the emotional growth that I get out of it.
Yeah, I got a tremendous amount out of those classes. Got a career.
Sorry, I'm wondering if you have any slight further advice for myself.
Yes. Oh, are you doing improv?
I'm in between classes. I haven't taken one since the beginning of the year, and I've been auditioning for regular acting jobs since then.
Well, okay. Yeah, I do have some advice for you. The first is, when you audition, you have to be great at auditions. And my parents gave me a book called, I don't know if you heard of it, called Audition, Everything You Need to Know to Get the Job by Michael Shurtleff. Have you heard of that book?
I've not.
Oh, well, my advice is get that book. He breaks down the audition process, and he has these things called guideposts, and there's 12 of them. And basically, it's these 12 questions that you ask of every scene. And then you answer them specifically, and you put that in different moments in the scene. And if you did that, your auditions will if you can act, you'll start getting work because nobody does this. People they just go in, they don't prepare. You don't have to ever memorize a scene. You don't need to memorize it. You'd always have the script with you. I mean, you can say I'm going to try to memorize it, but always have the script with you just in case.
Yeah.
It's playing the scene. In an audition, you have to make the scene work, which means who's ever watching the audition, you have to move them emotionally somehow, make them laugh, make them cry, feel something, right? And the other thing is, use yourself, use your personality. As a friend of mine years ago said to me, John, they're not looking for the right actor, they're looking for the right person. And I have no idea what you look like or what your personality is, but that's what you're going to get cast as. You know what I mean? That's pretty much true with everybody. Not in theater, but pretty much in movies. There's some character actors, but you're pretty much cast as who you are. Okay. And it's different sides of you. So I would get that book. As far as improv, if you can keep moving up in the classes of the Groundlings, I would do it. And once you understand improv, it's really easy. When they say whatever the person says to you is true, and it's just like putting one hand on top of the other like this. You're just adding information to the scene.
Okay.
And so all you do is, it's like, the way we're having this conversation now, and you're listening to me and you're saying, okay, yes, that's improv. It's just have the conversation with the person. Don't even think of it as anything different. You're just who you are, and you think, who are they? Where am I? How do I feel about where I am? And what do I want from the person? And then just talk to them. And then whatever they say, in acting, someone says something, the process is you hear it, you think about it, you feel something, and then you emotionally, and then you respond. That's it.
Right.
And then they do the same thing after what you say. And so improv, you don't have to write or anything. You just go with whatever pops in your head, and try to say everything really specific. You can't be too specific. Like if I said to you, what'd you do today? You go, oh, I got up about 9 o'clock and showered, and I had lunch over at McDonald's on Ventura Boulevard, and then I ran into my friend Bob. Everything's specific, and it doesn't sound strange, right? Because that's how people talk. And then my only other advice is practice fake phone calls. And try to fool people like you're on the phone, and that's like an
right now.
improv, yeah. Right, like now. Like you're just pretending you're talking to a lawyer. Well, anyway, thank you for calling. I have another call, but good luck to you, and thanks so much for calling. And now, you're welcome. We're on the phone with Marty from Pacoima. Marty, are you there?
Oh, yeah. Hi, John.
Are you from Pacoima?
No, I'm actually right in Hollywood.
Oh, I was close. And what are you doing? What are you doing in Hollywood? You're in Hollywood, like you're next to the Grauman's Chinese Theater?
Yeah, I'm actually right below all the craziness.
How do you like living there?
Well, I've been here for 12 years, and I've sort of gotten used to it. I just realized I'm never bored out here, so I love it now.
Where did you move from?
From Maui.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Look at the background of the show. I love Hawaii.
Oh, great. You been to Maui?
Yeah, once. I mean, but Hawaii is like heaven to me. Why did you move from? Why did you move from Maui to here?
Well, I wanted to pursue acting and directing, and I had some friends out here too. So there's not a whole lot of that going on in Hawaii. I mean, occasionally there's a film, but.
Did you grow up there?
Sorry?
Did you grow up in Maui?
Yeah, I was born in New Jersey, and then I moved there when I was 7.
Oh. I know everyone from here goes there on vacation.
Yeah.
But it's hard to make a living there, right? Unless you're in the tourist industry.
Yeah, I mean, most of my friends have at least 2 jobs, and if they're lucky, they'll take a trip to Vegas or something. But it's really tough out there.
Mm-hmm. And what? Sorry, I'm laughing right now because my fat partner, Mark Short, just held up a sign that says, "No one likes you because you're crazy," which is so unprofessional. He's trying to make me laugh. Well, what did you want to talk about, Marty?
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to ask, since Halloween was around the corner, if you wouldn't mind just touching on your Tales from the Crypt episode, which was so great, with John Astin.
Oh, yeah.
Your experience with that, and I love this subject because a lot of actors can relate to it, like how a better actor might get passed up for like a pretty face, who's like an actor who's not necessarily better, but is good looking or whatever. But and it's just a really great, dark and morbid and funny episode.
Well, Joel Silver was producing Tales from the Crypt, And I met him when I did this movie Jumpin' Jack Flash, and he's a big producer. Like he did Lethal Weapon 2 with Richard Donner and Die Hard, and anyway, he producing Tales from the Crypt. So I got offered to do this, and as you know, I play an actor who lives in Los Angeles, is auditioning, and I auditioned for the role of Hamlet. And the director is John Astin, and he doesn't pick me. He picks Bruce Boxleitner, and he says, well, because John, he says, Bruce is a very handsome guy, and he goes, I'm more, a character actor, and he goes, you don't have the look, So it's a horror thing. So I end up strangling Bruce and killing him, and then I get the part, and it turns out that the audition, it's really at an insane asylum, and John Astin is everyone's insane, and they're doing a production of Hamlet, and they need the skull of Yorick, so they ended up killing me, and then they used my skull. So it was a lot of fun, but the whole part about being an unemployed actor and being hungry for work and really wanting it badly, I mean, that was me before I got Saturday Night Live, so I could totally relate to the part, and I hear exactly what you're saying. But I think the best advice I got about acting was from Bernie Brillstein, who passed away. He's a great manager, and I was on Saturday Night Live in my first year, and the next year Lawrence said, you're going to have a lot of competition, and he would pit people against each other like Dana Carvey and I, and so I complained, Dana this and Dana that, and Dana's one of my best friends, we would talk about how competitive it is, and I said this to Bernie, and he said, John, listen, quit looking at the guy on your left, quit looking at the guy on your right, just look straight ahead, focus on where you want to go and go there. And that's my advice to you. And, if you don't get a part, it's very subjective. Sometimes it's the way you look. Sometimes it could be a million things, but you have no control over that. All you can do is go in and give a great audition. And that's all you can do. And after your audition, plan something fun. This is all stuff I learned from books. And like I said, there's a great book on auditioning by Michael Shurtleff called Audition, Everything You Need to Know to Get the Job. And I would just highly recommend getting that book. I remember my parents got it for me when I was 24. My dad goes, hey, we found this book. Maybe it'll help you. Boy, did it help me. I got everything I auditioned for when I had an agent. And I got a chance to audition. And, you have to be great at auditions. That's just the way it is. And this book will help you be great at auditions.
All right.
I highly recommend it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good luck to you. And now, I have a retarded producer. And he says, I have a question. Are you gay? No, I'm not. But if you are gay, I don't give a crap. Actually, to me, there's no such thing as a gay person. There's just people. Some of them like vagina, and some of them don't. And that's my subject on that. Anyway, I'm going to see what other questions I have on Twitter right now. Let's see. What was your favorite... Oh, this is from Craig Major. What was your favorite Saturday Night Live character to play? Well, Craig, in the beginning, I liked doing Master Thespian. The Liar was never one of my main characters, but it became very popular, and they said, keep doing it. And I liked doing it, but Master Thespian was all about acting, and I loved it, that character. And then after that, I liked doing Harvey Fierstein. I got to do it 3 times, and then Harvey came in to complain about it. And that was the end of that one. I got to get some cough medicine. Oh, here's an interesting question from Mike. Mikey Filthy Skanky. That's a lovely name, Mike. How much Jon Lovitz could a Jon Lovitz love if a Jon Lovitz could love Jon Lovitz? And the answer to that is a lot. By the way, if you're watching the show right now, you can give me a call at 818-691-5939. Oh, we're out of time. My idiot fat fuck producer just held up a sign now that says we're out of time. He could have held it up sooner, but this is the first time we've done one. Of course, I call him that because he's always calling me crazy. Anyway, you can follow the Jon Lovitz Vodcast Network on Twitter and Facebook. And we're coming to you live from the Jon Lovitz Comedy Club and Podcast Theater at Universal City Walk in Los Angeles. I want to thank everybody for calling in and your questions. And this is my new show, Anything Goes. We'll be doing it again next week. Thank you. And remember, this Saturday, if you want to come to the club at 8 o'clock, I'll be having my special guest, Lorraine Newman, from the original cast of Saturday Night Live. She's the original Conehead, along with Dan Aykroyd. It's going to be a great show. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.